Welcome back to another mini episode of Annie Makes Art School. Today's daily definition is for the term uncanny. This is a term that's commonly associated with psychologist Sigmund Freud, though he was not the first one to use it. Before Freud, uncanny referred to something that was unfamiliar and thus could lead to negative feelings of fear or anxiety. In his 1919 essay titled The Uncanny, Freud reframed this term to instead mean something that is simultaneously familiar and alien, thus causing an uncomfortable sensation in the viewer. Surrealist artists took this idea of the uncanny and applied it to much of their artwork, taking imagery that would be familiar to the viewer and yet placing it in a very different context than what they were used to seeing, again creating this jarring, uncomfortable sensation. In modern times, this term is commonly used in what's called the uncanny valley. This is an idea that in rendering a human person, there's a kind of spectrum of reality, and that in the middle, there's a dip of discomfort. So on one end, we have very unrealistic portrayals of people. Think cartoon animation, something that represents a person, but it's very clear to the viewer that it's not a real person. On the other end of this spectrum, we have highly realistic, perfectly rendered human visage. This is comfortable for the viewer to look at because it is so perfectly rendered, it's almost indistinguishable from reality. In between these 2 points, we have this dip of discomfort, the uncanny valley, where something looks close enough to reality that it's familiar, and yet off enough that the eye recognizes something is wrong. Think about early versions of computer-generated people and how they just were not comfortable to look at. That concept is the uncanny valley.